So we're recording an interview about library memories. Today is September 4th, 2025. My name is Anita Bowser. I'm the Information Services Manager at Butler Area Public Library. Can you tell me your name and where you're from?
Yes, Kathy Gordon from Butler, and I also have a home in Fort Myers, Florida, but I am a resident of Butler for my whole life.
Wow. What part of Butler did you grow up in?
I was raised on Patterson Avenue in Butler, but my home is in town on East Pearl Street. So, Butler City.
Nice. So what are some of your earliest and fondest memories of the library?
Well, when I was 15, my mother's two very good friends from her bridge club were the librarians at the library, Miss Mitchell and Miss Story. And they were very starched. Well, Miss Mitchell was more starched than Miss Story, but they really ran the library very efficiently. And because my mother played bridge with them and very good friends, they were looking for another aide to help shelve books, do research for college kids, go down, look for periodicals, whatever, shelve books, whatever. And I came in and met with them. Of course, I got the job, and I worked all through high school, 4 years, after school every day and all day Saturday. And when I came to the library, I really didn't know much about anything about a library. But I came out of it after 4 years with a wealth of knowledge. I knew the Dewey Decimal System, up, down, and sideways. So when I went on to school, I really had a real heads up with being able to find information, doing research, and I did a lot of research over the years, and it was very, very helpful. I used to go down to the Carnegie Library and research in the research department. So, yeah, my young experience was really very beneficial.
That's great. Did you visit the library before you started working here?
Not really.
No?
I didn't. I maybe on occasion, but not frequently.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't. But once I had my job, I was here every day, and I read a lot of books, and it was great.
What were some of your favorite books, like genres or authors? Anything you remember?
No, I really kind of looked more like research. I would be shelving the history books, or I didn't read novels so much. It was, I would look at research books and toes out and read those. But I was never much into novels.
A lot of nonfiction.
Yeah, here, there, and whatever, because I was in school, and if I had a project to do, I would get the books and read them, and it was fun.
So what kind of things do you do when you visit the library now?
Well, to tell you the truth, I really don't. I do a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of books, with my podcasts. I really don't visit the library. In fact, being here today, it's just great to walk around, and the way the library was back when I worked, it was so different. So it was kind of antiquated, actually, but beautiful. It was a beautiful library. But where all the periodicals were and all the documents that we had to go for college kids to get, it was kind of like a dungeon. It was really creepy, and I remember Nancy and I, the other girl, and she and I, we got to get down in the dungeon and find all these periodicals, and we'd almost flip a coin to see who was going down it was like a dungeon. It was dirty, dusty, awful, and then we'd have to file everything, all the magazines, the Life magazines, whatever they were. I can't even remember all the magazines, but that's how kids did research, magazines, and that was about it.
Journals.
And journals, newspapers, and it was dirty, dusty, awful, cobwebs. And Nancy and I would try to get down and clean the place up on occasion, and we'd wear a duster when we go down there because it was quite awful. But it was an experience.
Wow.
Never forgot it. So.
Can you contrast that with now? Have you
done
research lately that?
No, the research that I did back 20 years ago. Plus, I was basically at the Carnegie Library in Pittsburgh doing a lot of research for grants and things. But I really never did any research. But just walking around here, this library is just wonderful. And I am sure that with the staff that can help anybody really find what they are looking for, and you don't have to go into a dirty dungeon to find research materials. It's quite amazing, and it's wonderful that we have this in Butler.
Well, thank you. You really like it. So, what are some of your vivid memories of the time you spent here?
Well, I'd come after school, and there was always big stacks of books that we had to file because the librarian would put them, they didn't file anything. So I'd come in right after school, and that was my first task to, shelve all the books, look where they went. We went through the books too to see if there was any damage, and to see if anything, was damaged. And if we did, we'd go back to the librarian, and whoever had the book before might have had to come in, and I don't know, they took care of that part of it. But shelve all the books when we first got here, and then as mostly students from Slippery Rock College, it was Slippery Rock then, not SRU, they would come in, and then we would have to go help them find books on the shelf or down in the research area. And that was basically every day. Did that until 9 o'clock, and then I'd go home.
Wow, that's a long day.
Yeah, work till 9 every day.
Wow. So it sounds like you had a lot of college students keep you busy.
We did. And
Wow.
And then we had to dust. We did dust. Nancy and I would dust the shelves and tidy up things. And so, but they didn't have a cleaning staff. So she and I did dust and kept things organized. And there were the tables where the students would sit at, and we'd tidy that up. And so when we left every day, everything was all tidied up.
Wow. So are we talking about like the 80s, the 70s, that sort of time frame?
No, it was actually 1962.
Wow.
62.
Wow.
That's when I started September of 62. That's a long time ago.
Oh, I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, things have changed a lot.
Oh, tremendously.
Yeah.
And but and then on Saturdays we'd come in at 9 and work till 5. The library closed at 5. And I would bring my lunch, or sometimes we would go up to the hoagie shop and get a hoagie and bring it down and have our hoagie. But it was great. I mean, I didn't make much money. Well, I think I started out at like 25 cents an hour, and I think maybe by the time I went, maybe 50 cents an hour. But maybe, I can't remember, but it seemed like a lot of money to me. And
do you remember what minimum wage was at that time?
I don't remember. Probably not much.
Yeah, it's probably consistent with. Yeah.
It was probably, and because I was a page and we were kids, and I don't know, but I used to think, I wonder how we would be paid. I can't remember how we got paid, but I think in my head, I thought, well, maybe the people that had to pay for delinquent books, maybe that's how they paid Nancy, and I don't know, but that's just my own head, but probably not that way. I'm sure there was a little bit of a fund to pay the pages, because we did work. I mean, we didn't sit down. We were busy walking around, putting things on the shelves, dusting shelves, tidying up, taking care of, and there were only 2 of us, so we were busy.
It sounds like you had a lot to do.
But it was all positive. It wasn't like I was flipping burgers or anything. It was all educational.
That's great.
But I didn't realize it at the time because it was a job. But I absorbed all that education doing it. It was great.
So did you walk back and forth from home?
Yeah, well, I'd get a ride, I'd get a ride, but I would walk sometimes too. I would walk from school or take the bus from school down here, and they drop me off, and from the high school. Yeah, it was manageable, and I lived close by, so I could walk home.
That's great.
And actually, my boyfriend, who I ended up marrying, he would sometimes pick me up and take me, like on a Saturday. So I had a ride that way too.
So were there a lot of, or very many people who came in just for leisure reading, like recreational reading?
There were some elderly people, yes. They would have books on reserve, and they would come in, and if the books weren't there that they wanted, because you had to reserve the books, and I can remember we had lists of reserved books for people. Do they still do
Yep.
that?
Yep.
And we would go find the reserved books. So there were some elderly people, because you didn't have the internet or anything back then, and nothing like on TV for educational stuff. And they would come. There were routine people that would do reserved books. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
And do you remember, was the fiction collection very big?
Nothing to the way it is in today's world. No.
Really?
There was only one. There was the one area when you came in to the top of the steps, not like this, because there were steps that you came in, this beautiful entry, and all the books were all that way. So everything was fiction and nonfiction that way, and that was all. And then, well, there were some books over in here, but it's kind of funny. The books that were on reproductive and whatnot, they were under lock and key. And one of the students had to come for a book on reproduction things that they were writing, or sex, basically, we had to get Miss Mitchell or Miss Story, and they had to unlock the key. And then, they were under lock and key. Mm-hmm.
That is so funny.
Yes, they were not out on the shelf. No, you could not look at any anatomy books out on the shelf. And I remember right where they were, in the one front, they were up above, and they were under lock and key.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was that a very big collection?
I don't think so, because I wasn't privy to getting in that collection, but I can remember Miss Mitchell or Miss Story going in and opening the thing, and I remember put them back in, but I would have them, and then they would have to open them up and put the books back in. So I don't remember a whole bunch of books being up in there.
Yeah.
But they were just anatomy and physiology books is all it was. But they were under lock and key.
That's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm sure they're probably on the shelf today.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
Yeah, but it was all...
Did they do any kind of programming?
No.
No?
Not that I can remember. No. Not at all.
No book discussion groups or anything like that?
They didn't have like groups. No,
Okay.
nothing like that. It was just you came to the library, got your books, did your whatever. But the college students would stay. They would get their books out and work, because they had all these things to work. So they did do that a lot. And not so much high school kids, but college kids.
So were there quite a few tables then for them to
Yeah, there
work
were.
at?
And they were beautiful, big wooden tables. So when you came up the steps, on each side back in, there were tables back here, and all the books were here in the front. And there were some that way too. But they were, and then I can remember the Dewey Decimal, all the boxes were all right in the front on the right. And they were quite big.
Yeah?
Yeah, quite a lot of drawers to open.
Yeah.
And I would have to file new cards, because they would type them up by hand. And then we would have to, that was another job we had.
So that was their card catalog?
Yeah,
then?
our card catalog, and we would have to put them in there by hand. So the librarians would have those things typed up, and then they were just almost like a card that you would write a recipe on, and then we would log those. They didn't do that. We did that as part of our job.
Wow. Yeah, we don't have those anymore.
It was all hands-on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We still have people that come in looking for the card catalog.
I bet you. Because, people love to come in and they love to look through them, and they would spend hours there at the card catalog looking through with their fingers. It's kind of like that, probably just enjoyed doing it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember they'd push them up a little and then go through a little bit more and push them up. And then sometimes they'd leave them and we'd have to go back and fix them. And other thing I haven't thought about in years.
Well, are there any other things that you'd like to talk about?
No, just that I think we're very fortunate to have a library as wonderful as this in Butler.
Oh, thank you.
And everybody that I've met, all the personnel, seem to be so wonderful and helpful. And it's been wonderful meeting you.
Well, thank you. It's been nice meeting you.
And I hope I was able to shed a little light on what things were back when I was a kid.
So was it one floor?
Yes, it was one,
Except the dungeon.
except for the dungeon, the basement. I wonder if that basement's still down in there. Probably,
Yeah.
but that's where all the periodicals were. And it was even creepy getting down into there. But that's where, and we'd have to go file them all. But basically, the research material were all magazines and periodicals that are newspapers. We had tons of old. They kept all these newspapers. When you think about it, probably wasn't a good thing to have it that way, but oh well. That was the time.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
been really nice talking to you.
Yes, thank you. Enjoyed it. I can truly say that I had no bad memories about all my time being a library page at the Butler Public Library.